BXB. It's in the game!
Hello everyone, it's Christopher Goldthorn here again with another review for BXB Games. Today we are looking at The Thin Silence, an indie game by Australian developers 2PM Studios. It's a 2.5D pixelated platform puzzler in which you play as Ezra Westmark, a man suffering from depression. You start the game at the bottom of a mine shaft, and your overall goal is to both literally and metaphorically help Ezra climb out of the darkness. Let's start with the simple stuff. The graphics are really quite effective, with their simplistic pixelated style and their diverse colour palettes lending themselves to the mood and the tone of the piece. Despite the low-res feel, they actually are quite sharp and well presented. The environments you find yourself in feel surprisingly fleshed out, and there's a good amount of depth to the background despite the 2.5D presentation. And the soundtrack is just beautiful. It ranges from sweeping majesty to eerie undertones, and is genuinely haunting and moving, but it remains wholly unobtrusive throughout the game, never taking over the scene, just underpinning it perfectly. The game is split into 4 chapters, each of which take place in a particular setting, and each represents a portion of Ezra's journey out of, and sometimes back into, the darkness. To help him achieve this, there is an item collection and crafting system that allows Ezra to build everything he needs to overcome the obstacles in his way, the physical ones anyway. Each scene is a platform-like puzzle to solve using the items you craft in ingenious and generally logical ways. The puzzles are clever and inventive, albeit not too mould-breaking, and the crafting system is slick and intuitive, but again, nothing game-changing. But it's the story that is the core of this game and its experience. The main subject matter is depression and self-doubt, but at its heart, this is a story of hope and redemption. Despite the severity of Ezra's experience, and the fact that the game doesn't pull too many punches, if any at all, the subject matter is treated with delicacy and respect, and Ezra's story is told so well that I really did get deeply invested in it. It's not filled with twists and turns, and it doesn't have a million threads. It's just simply a well-told and well-presented, deeply personal story. And it even manages to have a gentle sense of humour about itself too, which is refreshing in this kind of game. I don't want to give too much away. This is very much an experience that needs to be had without foreknowledge, but suffice to say that Ezra has been deeply troubled by the events of his life, and he finds himself both literally and metaphorically lost in the darkness. As you lead his ascent, you are given snippets of what went on before, all the while gaining a deeper insight and understanding of both Ezra and the world he inhabits. For me, the game does get a little bogged down in the 3rd chapter. The pace drops and there is a slightly annoying minigame involving computer passwords which, while largely optional, did actually lead to information that helped me find the answers I needed quicker than I would have done otherwise. Again, no spoilers, but I would recommend a pen and paper will help more than the cryptic hints given when you get the passwords wrong enough times. And if I'm being a real nitpick, Ezra moves a bit too slowly. I understand this may well be a deliberate choice from the developers to help visualise his emotional state, but if you get stuck on a puzzle or an area and are forced to redo it, the ability to pick up the pace a little, even just in short bursts, wouldn't go amiss. Those 2 points aside, this is a really, really good game. It's well produced, classily presented, respectful to its subject matter, and personally, I genuinely felt moved and inspired by Ezra's journey. Because of this, I'm going to give it 4 stars. This is a genre that needs to be happening more in video games. Depression and mental health are talked about in movies, television programs, in the media, on social media, all over the place. Games are just about starting to catch up to that, and this is another great example of what an art form gaming can be and just how much it can bring to the community that plays it. And just to finish off, as a side note, the game is officially affiliated with checkpoint.org.au. It is an Australian-based charity for gamers across the world. It is a global organisation. It helps nurture the pro-mental health gaming community. It also has resources that can be downloaded from their website. If you are affected by issues with mental health and depression, One of the things that the developers of this game are keen to say is it's okay not to be okay. I have kindly asked the editor to leave its link in the description below. Please do go and check it out. It's a fantastic charity and an initiative focused around video games, community, and pro-mental health attitudes. If you enjoyed this review, or if you just like the sound of my very pleasing baritone voice, you can check me out on the Humble Gamer channel at youtube.com/HumbleGamerTube. I also do live streams on Twitch at twitch.tv/HumbleGamerTwitch. Also, always come back to bxbgames.co.uk or the YouTube channel here for more great content.
BXB. It's in the game.